Hi, my name's Amanda. I'm a mother of three children, and I think my story starts back when I was about 17. I was a problem child. I have been diagnosed with 16 mental diagnoses so far since I was 14, and I've struggled through life basically. I've had drug problems, um, self harm, depression, anxiety. I have what's called intermittent explosive disorder, where I just freak out, no reason whatsoever. Take like the littlest inkling of a situation and blow it completely out of proportion, and it just caused a lot of problems in my life. And when I was 18, when I was 17, my mother died, June 10th, 2010. And so, me and my mom never really got along, and it was just one of those things. So, me being 17 and still a minor, no one wanted me. My mom's boyfriend at the time took my brother and was taking care of him, but they didn't want me. And so I was 17, left on my own, and went into the foster care program. I lived that life for a very short-lived time. Um, After I turned 18, I just left the whole thing. Like, I didn't care if it benefited me. I didn't really see much of my future. And so I ended up with this guy that I had been with since I was 16. Um, but me and him, we'd really gotten close, and we was together, and I was living in his house with him and his mom and his brother and just a bunch of people, and we were drug addicts. It didn't matter. We all got drunk, we all drank, and we all did pot, or smoked pot, and we didn't care about life. And wound up pregnant. That was a chore. Um, was not ready for any of that, but I loved my daughter. Like, I found out I was having a girl, and I was just completely overjoyed, and that little girl changed my life. When she was born, very disappointing to admit, but when she was born, I didn't really have that mother-daughter connection with her. Um, just didn't feel like I was her mom. My boyfriend at the time, mom, took care of her. Mostly, she slept in her room, not mine, and that was about it. And I think I stayed drunk for about the first 3 weeks after she was born. Constantly, just drinking, drinking, drinking. It didn't matter. Um, Situations happened, and basically, me and my boyfriend split up. And so, broken home inside of a home, and it was horrible. And I left and went to my friend's house for a little bit just to get away. And when I came back, everyone in the house was drunk. One of them was holding my daughter. And it was just like, in that moment, mommy instinct kicked in, and I told them to give her to me, and they wouldn't. And so they kicked me out, and I called the cops, and the cops were basically like, we can't take this child from one parent and give it to the other. So that was pretty heartbreaking, and spent that entire night staring at the ceiling, not knowing what to do with myself. Um, all the drugs and alcohol in that home, all the dogs, it was unfit from the bottom up. Not just the people, but the home itself had live wires showing. It didn't have proper anything. It was just a horrible place to live. It was like a shack house. It was horrible. And so I did what I thought was best for my child at that time, and I called Child Protective Services on them. As her mother, I called them. Um, they put her in foster care, and luckily, thank God, she went to a home of a family that I have known since I was 8 years old. Loved them. They're a great Pentecostal family. Loved them. They did great with her. Went to visitation every week and tried to get my life in order to get my daughter back. And it just didn't happen. Had a job, had a home, had transportation, had all that, and then just in like a blink of an eye, lost my home, lost the car, lost the job, lost it all. I self-destructed, um, quit my job, then turned around and started being stupid, and I just, at that point, it dawned on me that I would never be able to take care of myself properly at that point. It was just kind of like a thing. And I decided that it was time that I signed my rights over to her. This family wanted to adopt her. They loved her. And to me, that could have been the greatest thing for her. And I made a promise to my daughter that one day she would go home to mommy and daddy and she would be okay. And I think whenever I signed my rights over a year later on her birthday, um, for her to be adopted, to have a mommy that loves her and a daddy that love her, to be in a church home and a family, to have sisters. She has 2 adopted sisters and nothing but love there. She's completely taken care of. She's big. She's beautiful and vibrant, and she loves to sing. And I don't get to, I got to talk to her recently. I haven't seen her in 3 years. We don't want to confuse her, but to know that she's okay, and it makes me feel like I did the right thing. I think that's what means the most to me. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I have a little girl now and a little boy, and they're my whole world. They're my precious angels. I love them to death. They're quirky. They're ridiculous. They're perfect in every way, every flaw. They're my babies. And, you know, heaven will get to know them one day, and I can't wait because she'll love them. And it's a really hard situation, but I think I chose the best situation for her, and I wouldn't change it. And that's my story.